I think my approach is this combination of like being very Rogerian and very behavioral and putting those two together and putting on different hats depending on where we're at in the mentoring process. So on a Rogerian side of things, I think I'm really big into self-actualization, honestly, helping that trainee to be able to meet their potential, find their talents, develop their confidence, and to start to see themselves the way that I see them, which is really strengths-based. On the behavioral side of things, I think I'm pretty good at setting structure, setting deadlines, setting consequences, helping them take a big, scary project and break it into little target goals. I think I'm pretty good at that. And if anybody knows me, they know that the biggest aspect of my career has been being a part of the program development of parent-child interaction therapy. And PCIT has this part to it that involves giving a lot of feedback to a parent. And we use what we call a constructive feedback sandwich, and we do it like 50 times in a session with parents, where we're telling a parent what they do really well using a really specific and labeled praise. And then in the middle of this sandwich, we tell them what could be even better, give them suggestions for how they could take it to another level. And then we end with another big slice of labeled praise, telling them what they're doing really well. And I think that in my mentoring style, that I'm really comfortable seeing what a student's doing really well and then giving them suggestions for what they could do even better, giving them that feedback in a positive way, but still giving them goals to strive for and things to change in themselves, but doing it in a way of telling them what to do rather than what not to do, what's right instead of what's wrong, and getting them to kind of want to make some changes in a really positive way, and knowing that I will notice those changes and I'll give them lots and lots of labeled praise when they're able to take some of those weaknesses or challenges that they've been having and start to work on them.
I like to describe it as a developmental or graduated approach. I always considered myself as being fairly adept at meeting the intern where she was in terms of experience, clinical experience, sometimes life experience, and also personality fit with the work. My goal was to provide more structure, scaffolding for learning early on, and then gradually let her provide more structure with a focus on what she needed in terms of her growth, development, knowledge building, and the skill sets we were looking for her to acquire. I would also work on identifying reactions that came up to parents and children and challenging folks who might prematurely jump to certain hypotheses about what's going on in therapy or diagnostically. And I really worked hard to get my mentees to generate competing hypotheses, different hypotheses about what might be going on. It was also really important to me to model how to interact with children and parents. And for that reason, I liked to team up with mentees in therapy, and even just walking down the corridor with a family and a child. I think there's a lot that can be learned there.
My approach is collaborative. It is non-specific. It is a partnership. There's some expectation that it's definitely not one direction, mentor to mentee. I expect the mentee to be active in the relationship, to bring something to the table. I'm selfishly expecting to learn from and gain from the relationship as well.
I think of mentorship as it's lifelong. It's probably closer to parenting than teaching, where you have a relationship with somebody. And there are some people that some of my students who would probably call me their mentor, I haven't heard from in years, but something will happen and they'll call me up and say, hey, I got this opportunity to get a new job. I want to just bend your ear for a little bit about it. And then that mentorship piece there takes over. One of the other things to think about when you're putting mentorships together is, and this is something I believe is true, is you don't really need to have just one of them, because different people have different skill sets. For example, my mentor that I just spoke about is my dissertation chair. I would consider he's kind of my science mentor, if you will, and can give me all kinds of great advice about my scientific side of the thing. But he's not a clinician. And so I want to, I have other mentors that are clinicians. And I think that the process of assigning mentors has some problems with it, because you kind of think, oh, this is my mentor. There's one person that's going to fulfill this role. And I don't think that's possible, nor is it very desirable to have just one person serve that role. You want to have lots of different mentors that have lots of different skill sets that you would go to and make use of at various points in time.
And I believe that my mentoring philosophy is really a combination of humanism and behaviorism. And that really kind of matches well, I think, with my clinical work and also my approach to teaching. That I think the concepts of unconditional positive regard are very important. That I want mentees to know that I'm behind them personally and professionally, and want to support them, and that I'm really excited by being a part of their professional and life journey. And the behavioral part is really kind of working on goal setting, asking mentees to set their own goals and to set their own contingencies too. Ask them, do you want me to remind you about things? Do you want me to how can I be of help to you? And so I think that in that way, I'm trying to promote independence on the part of the mentee, that I want them to achieve, not because of me, but because of who they are and what they have done. So I think I really try to bring in a lot of positivity and also some good humor. That I think it should be fun. It just I think about how can I make this hour fun with this person so they will enjoy it and I will too, while being very serious about the work that we have to do together.
And so it's really a process of empowerment and supportiveness and mutual collegial respect, where we're sort of supporting each other and learning more about ourselves and our gifts and our strengths, and also our challenges, and knowing as we sort of progress down that road of that mentoring relationship, that it's okay to have challenges. It's okay to have areas that are not as strong as other areas. It's okay to have blind spots, as long as you're aware of them, and as long as you learn how to work with them, and as long as you're moving forward. So for me, the process of mentoring, first of all, is one of the most wonderful privileges that my career has afforded me, is that opportunity to be both a mentee and a mentor. But I think it's that process of empowerment, of mutual respect and collegiality, where I'm able to offer some of my observations that I've garnered over my 30 years as a psychologist, hopefully in some ways that help support someone who's moving forward down the same road that I am.